Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. How you doing? Most definitely, you might be looking at me that this is not that black boy. Don't worry, you'll see me. It's not here for
we
now.
don't have him
So,
here today.
welcome to another episode of the Nothing Podcast, where we talk about nothing you didn't know already. So, today is an amazing day. We have some amazing folks with us, and we're going to be talking, about some amazing topics. But before moving into amazing, let's do some introduction. So, it's me again, Jamin. Suspect number 2, suspect number 1, whatever suspect you suspect me, I'm not guilty. So, I do open. Not Nalayo. It's me. It's me, the old taker, that I do everything, importer, exporter, pure water, exploder. So I deal on deals. If you have deals, you bring it. I'm active like Shivita. Anytime, any day, call me. Midnight, I'll come and do the deal for you. As long as it's legal, sha.
So get great.
So let's proceed with that. So I have a very amazing public global speaker. No, it's not speaker, it's host. Please meet Bam Bam.
Hola, hello everyone. So my name is Oluwabami Kemi. You all know that already, but you can call me Bami and Bam Bam, like you rightly said. And yes, we are definitely co-hosting this day today. So welcome again to this podcast.
Nothing podcast. Yeah.
Nothing.
So that's so.
Nothing that
Then let's move on to our host. They're not hosts. They are guests. So we have 2 amazing guests. First, we have Toby. So I'll give Toby the floor to do an introduction of himself.
Hello everyone. I'm Tobiloba. I'm a software engineer and developer relations engineer. I've been in tech space for about 3 years now. I'm excited to be here.
Have you seen a software engineer that is a fine boy? Some people have careers. Some people have See, if you watch that previous episode, there's an episode we shoot about career.
Some people
Our career took how many years to start, but so there are some people that
3 years.
3 years.
Get career.
That's a career. But some people, they will catch their sub after this. And then we have an amazing guest again. A beautiful one. Our guest today, they fine die.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Busayo,
Their voice sounds rich.
and I'm a technical writer. Open source. Well, I do a lot of things in open source, but let's wrap it on that open source advocacy.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yes, on that.
Okay.
Note, open source
That's cool. So you heard it. They both made the introduction of themselves and they said open source, all sorts something. Today we're going to be talking about like open source. What's open source? How you can get started. If you're in the tech space, I can contribute.
Legit
What can you do? Not be doing. It's not that legit contribution. It's not the one some of you are doing. I won't call names or some of you. You know yourself, Sha. So let's move on. So we're going to ask the first question. Actually, I just from a layman perspective, I want to ask, what's open source? Is it open? When we talk about source, are we talking about better stew with forever going or something? But what's open source exactly? Yeah, Toby, you can.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, what camera do I face?
You can see that camera.
Okay,
there.
this one.
you are facing this one.
This one or this?
So
This.
there's a main guy there.
Okay.
It's a spotlight, and then this for.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So open source is I think it's an art or a sort of movement. It's many things, but from my understanding, I'll call it a process, because open source involves so many things, and one thing that is primary to open source is making contribution to software that is public, and software that anybody has permissions to either read, write, edit, make improvements on, or even something called fork. So like you make a copy of it and you can say, okay, I don't want to use the original one, I'll make it better.
Yeah.
So yeah, open source is many things, and yeah, primarily that is pretty much what open source is. Yeah.
So it's not stew.
Obviously.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense
open
actually.
stew.
That makes sense actually. So, with that definition now, so when people talk about like contributing to open source, what do they actually mean?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, okay. When people say contributing to open source, all they mean is Bami was saying,
Yeah.
open source is many, like, you could also just be advocating for a project and you are contributing to that project because you are bringing value to them. It's not, may not be tangible like number wise, but it's tangible in the aspect of it's a mind space
Mm.
within the ecosystem and people know about it. So contribute to open source, you could either like say make software contribution, write guides if it's a dev tool, or if it's maybe a tool that does something in in a certain way and people are not very aware of how it works.
Yeah.
You can educate people on it.
Okay.
You could also just say, okay, there's a feature that this is missing, let me fork this and make this improvement to the project and then push it back to the project. So there's something called push, there's pull. There's so many things. Most of these are like Git.
Okay.
That's
Okay. Makes
what-
sense. Makes sense. So well, you just made mention of something like
Yeah.
advocacy and all
Yeah.
that. So let's. I'm going to push
Yes.
that to Busayo because when she was
Yeah,
doing
we
the
have
intro,
been
just like she
talking
said.
about advocacy.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's
Okay.
advocacy?
Well, maybe I can now talk a little bit about how I got into like open source.
Yeah. Hit
So,
us.
Well, I got into open source through a friend, right? She mentioned it and I started contributing to different projects. So first off, I went to GitHub, made some research on what projects I could contribute to. Then I joined these communities and well, it was a little slow because sometimes when you join these communities, you're just confused. How do you get started? What are you starting with? Who are you talking to? You don't know what's going on. So I now fell into that trap of just being in different communities and not necessarily doing anything. But I was shy there. I would join meetings. Then, fortunately, I heard about Outreachy. We'll talk about that maybe later during the podcast. And that's like fast-tracked the whole open source process. And I was fortunate enough to get in with an organization called Opia. And basically, the work we did there at Opia was not your... He said he's a developer. I
Yeah.
have never really contributed to developer side of things in my
Oh.
open source contribution. So it has
Are you
always
a developer to start with?
well, I started off with front end. Funny enough.
Okay.
So, but as of now, I do not do well with my technical writing role now. I do a little bit of technical stuff, but throughout for like 2 years, I wasn't doing anything technical. So advocacy. When I talk about that, I mean speaking up for people to come into this open source project.
Oh.
So, for example, with Chaos is another open source community that I really love.
Yeah.
And I always encourage people to join. So, let's say, for example, there's an event going on. I go there, talk about, oh, this is what Chaos does. This is what Chaos is about. This is how you can get started with contributing to Chaos. And Chaos has really made that process very easy for new contributors. You know what I mentioned about when I joined, I didn't know what was going on. We've eliminated that at Chaos.
Oh,
We have
that's
provided
cool.
very good avenues. We have a tour guide at Chaos that once they see someone new joins the community, they are already with you. Oh, hi. Would you like a tour guide? They walk you
Nice.
through that entire process of what we do at Chaos. So it's easy for you to find your foot and just get
That's
started.
amazing.
Amazing.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
I think Kingsley actually mentioned that.
Yeah.
I met him a couple of months back, and he was telling me about like this UX sort of talk, like
Yeah.
share to people that maybe want to contribute UX,
Mm-hmm.
and they just read through it and they'll get
Understand
started.
Oh, wow.
what
Yeah.
happens.
Wow,
there.
interested.
That's
So,
nice.
let's thank you for sharing. Yeah, your journey and experience with us. So I think we should ask you both now. Like, how did you guys get started in open source? Like, how did you find out that there's something open source and started doing it? What's your story? Look at the camera. What's your story?
So, open source. It was honestly. I just I got started at the in uni. So I'm still in uni. I do like computer science. So
Oh, okay.
so we had this program set up by the federal government where they wanted people to come and have a hub sort of. The one in Unilag is the only one in West Africa. So yeah, it's called NITSTAR or something like that. Yeah, NITSTAR, sorry. My bad. So I enrolled in a program at NITSTAR. My friends were doing front end. TLDR, they were doing front end. I wanted to see how they were making money from writing code and putting
yeah.
and generating
Everybody
beautiful
bomb.
websites. So I essentially just went there. I'm like, okay, this front end thing that I've seen my guys doing, let me actually see how they are doing it. I went through the process. That was in 2022. So I was very fascinated by the fact that most of these things that I used when I was learning front end, when I was learning to code in general, they were like tools that you didn't have to like pay for. So there were things that you just like okay, npm install this one. Maybe there's an editor of VS Code, it's free. Why? I was like, this is free again. I will install that one as well. So these were things I sort of, were thrown at me. I was like, this is amazing. This is how these guys are making money from using free tools. So then I went to investigate further. And there's this thing with npm. I don't know if anybody has seen it here. If you like sort of run npm, you see that npm, that project you are installing depends on other projects. And there's something called like fund. So some of these projects would be listed there in your terminal. I don't think most people read it. So like npm fund, there are these projects that need funding and stuff. So I went to like check that out. Like, why do these projects need funding? I thought they were free. And then I found out the whole process of open source and how some engineers, maybe the guy's working at MetaMask or is working at Vercel, is just building that on the side to like just help somebody or like just solve a problem that he's like been facing, and maybe use it for himself. And they're like, okay, let me just put it out there. And that was pretty much it. I joined the community. Communities are like very fundamental to like open source in general. So I joined one community, and then from there I joined several others, because one community always connects you to several others. So I obviously interacted with people and stuff. Back in 2022, I met Francesco. He's like this amazing DevRel guy. Works at Daily Dev. So I joined this community at 4C. Idris was there too. Olanetsoft. It was like one of the guys in the community. I was like, oh yeah, there's a Nigerian here. So I just like sort of vibed with everybody. And then eventually they was like Oktoberfest was approaching. They were like, oh yeah, we need help to manage requests that will be coming in, because Oktoberfest, okay, let me not say anything bad, but when Oktoberfest when Oktoberfest approaches, that's when people want to contribute to open source.
Okay.
So you mean Oktoberfest is not the only day I should contribute to open source? Now for talk this thing quick. Okay. Yeah. Go on.
So people were looking for like contributions, and miraculously, or should I say weirdly, I think that's a better word, they started like bombarding the project, and they were like, oh yeah, we need help here. So I entered open source being a maintainer. So I was maintaining.
Like God well. Like
wow.
God well. Just direct maintainer like that.
So
I'm still contributing 3 years later.
So I started maintaining that project. It had a few hundred stars, and it was Next.js. I was writing React at the time. I used that project to actually master Next.js to a very good extent. I can say that I'm a Next.js dev. So I sort of used that to learn. I looked at people's contributions. The ones I didn't know, I looked it up online. Read docs, confirmed with the team, because it's a community of people. So sometimes they need features to be implemented.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
would implement those features or create issues for them. Made me understand the entire process of like using Git, using GitHub. I had absolutely no idea how to use Git. If I was committing and adding, and there was a red there, that means it's done for the day.
Yes.
I will close.
That's just rebase, not me.
I will close that terminal and go and maybe restart my laptop even.
Exactly.
To sort of start the process freshly. And like, okay, it must go smoothly this time. So I use that to sort of like master, those processes and stuff. And Oktoberfest, I got a t-shirt too. I think they've ended that now. So that was the last year. They still give t-shirts.
Yeah, they did not send mine.
They didn't send yours.
But like Digital Ocean.
Yes, Digital Ocean didn't send mine.
I don't think they give t-shirts.
We're dragging Digital Ocean here.
Like Digital Ocean still gives t-shirts, or projects to contribute to give you t-shirts.
Well, I know,
You have
like
to
on their
contribute.
website, they still have like this whole get a t-shirt thing. Though we at Chaos, we give out merch
Yeah,
to
that's what
people
I'm
that
saying, yeah.
contribute.
Okay.
But I know Hacktoberfest still says, oh, we would give you stuff.
No, give her like stickers.
It's like t-shirts, or you plant a tree.
Yeah,
or
plant a
something. I
tree.
could have just planted a
I
tree.
planted
You
a
have
tree.
the
I planted a tree last year actually, because there was no t-shirt, and the alternative was the sticker. I was like, yeah, just plant a tree
Just
for
plant a
some
tree.
people to
Yeah,
enjoy
that's-
it.
Yeah, first for good.
That's a
Yeah.
very nice like old journey
Yeah.
and how you like got into it. I think I also want to ask like a question to Busayo. So
Okay.
in terms of like getting into open source and doing that, what's the best way to get into open source? Say I'm a beginner. This is the first time I'm hearing about open source. Like something
Yeah.
is open. Like according to what Toby said, open source is like a free software that you can contribute to and modify and make it better. So, say I want to like contribute to an open source project. What do I do? This is my first time. I'm just hearing this. I started my career last month. So what do? I want to contribute to open source. What do I do?
Okay, that's a good question. I think first off, you have to make research. I think that's the main thing. It's not rocket science like that. You have to put in that effort. So, for example, let's say you're a developer now.
Yeah.
You can use GitHub. That's the good thing about GitHub. You can just go there, type open source. Then you see like list of projects that are open source. Then to break down or to like filter the search, you can now add, okay, what aspect of open source? Is it React? Is it Next.js? Is it TypeScript you want to work with? Can do that. You find these projects that are using these frameworks that you already know or that you're interested in. So another thing in our repos, and other open source communities are also encouraged to do this, we have this newcomer hashtag that you can use to help newcomers find your repository so that they know what to do. So for example, during Hacktoberfest again, because Hacktoberfest is like a big deal in open source communities. So one thing I always do, especially with the Chaos repo, like the Chaos, because I manage that Hacktoberfest in Chaos Africa.
Nice,
So
nice.
yes, one thing I always do is I have a very detailed README file. So if you're new, you already know, oh, this is what to do.
Clap for that.
Right.
Read me.
Yes,
Making a
we
good
have
read me
we
is
have a
difficult.
very, very detailed README.
Yeah.
I wrote a blog about it, and I wrote a book about it last year, right? And I said, okay, other communities can also use this. So I have, okay, this is for developers. This is what we need developers to do. This is for designers. This is for technical writers. Even social media managers. We ask them
Amazing.
create calendar content.
Yeah.
So when communities do that, filter their search, make their projects easy to find, and then contributors can easily now find it. Then another good way to find these projects is to attend conferences, right? So some open source like Oscar Fest, for example, you hear them talk about a lot of projects, right? A lot of communities. That was where I heard about Nextcloud, and I was in talks with Jan from Nextcloud for a while. So attending these conferences are good ways to hear about these projects, to meet these people that are handling these projects, right? Maybe you don't have money to go abroad and go for those international ones. The ones we are doing here in Africa, you can come there, right? Then Twitter is also another good place. Hashtags, scroll there. A lot of open source influencers these days.
Okay.
I don't want to get there. Do we want to get there?
We'll get
but
there.
it's
We
not
have
a
to
shame.
Do we want to get there?
It's not a shade,
influencer
right?
is
There
not
are
a bad
some
thing,
people
actually.
that are
Okay.
just focused on that open source side of things. So you can
They are
follow them,
influencing.
right? Follow them. They talk about these communities that you can join.
Yeah.
So those are like the ways I would say a beginner can just quickly get started, right?
Yeah.
But Bami wants to.
Yeah, I mean, like, she already like mentioned like social media. I wanted to like make you, I mean, help us buttress that there are technical, I mean, non-technical now, non-technical positions
So,
or
do I-
roles or
Can I contribute as a
issues
developer?
that you can contribute to, because he is a developer. You're a technical
Writer, yeah.
yeah. So are there like non-technical issues that you can contribute to in open source, like marketing, like social media, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
like content creators, like designers. I mean, I feel like right now they are even giving designers a little bit more visibility in the ecosystem. But marketers,
Yeah.
coming from a marketer, community manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's a very good question.
Yeah.
And I think I can do justice to that question because I myself have never, as I said, I've never contributed to like the tech developer side of things. Even the technical writing I do is just for my full-time role. It's not for open source, right? I started off my first contribution as a translator to Yoruba.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That was my first open source contribution.
That's good.
I'm telling you. So the project I wanted to contribute to during outreach, Opia. So they have Opia is an Android based app for children to learn maths.
Okay.
So I worked with them, and when I was getting started, when I was trying to say, okay, what do I even do first? I noticed that they have like a translation side of things, and that's what a lot of communities are now doing. They are localizing their and broadening their communities and producing it in their documents in different languages. So they had this app and they wanted to reach children in Africa. So I joined as a translator for their Yoruba team. I currently lead the Yoruba team as of today, Seth.
Wow.
So
okay, cool.
after doing translation, I now went to the user research side of things. So I had to go to schools. I went to about 3 different schools, met with around 500 children in like total, and showed them
doing the work.
how.
Yes, so that's actually
this is the open source contribution
Yeah.
that we are talking about.
that's the advocacy. When they say
Right.
advocacy, this is it.
So I had to go to public schools, private schools, and since I still work with that organization, I still do that today. Right?
Oh.
I still work with them, even though it was like 2 years ago now,
Yeah.
because I believe in what they are doing. I think it's for a good cause.
Yeah.
So I worked as a user researcher. All my findings, I had to document them, write it down so that our developers could make improvements to the app, and also better what those children are learning, because we had a lesson creation team also. So you see, I've mentioned like 4 aspects that are not even
Technical.
Yeah.
We had translation, we had user researchers, we had lesson creation team, we have arts team on that project. Then at Chaos, I currently work as a project manager. So we have a team of project managers, and whenever new projects come out in Chaos, we help to manage those projects, assign people to work on them. Then also during Oktoberfest, I manage that. So partnerships.
Wow.
So we have partners that we work with, and even at Opia, I lead their SSA partnerships team, that's Sub-Saharan Africa. So reach out to organizations that we think, okay, children can benefit from what we're doing. So but the thing is, if you join a community and you don't stay, you won't find out that there are other side of things. So you have to calm down, make research, study,
Grow.
wait, grow, right? See what that community is all about. Then see where best you can fit in. Chaos also has something called badging. So for open source events, they can come to our repository and say, okay, we want a badge to show that we are DI compliant, because a lot of organizations are now very focused on diversity and inclusion, right? So we have badgers. I'm also a badger. You get to review these events. There are some metrics that we check and say, okay, if you have this, if you're doing this, let's say, you have diversity tickets that people can get a discount maybe when they are purchasing your tickets, we'll give you a check mark. So we'll collate all of that, and it can lead to maybe a gold badge, a silver badge, a bronze badge. So these are like small ways that people can just get started with contributing. It doesn't have to be until you have something huge to do,
Yeah.
or you do NPM install. I've never NPM installed an open source project, right? So there are tons of ways to contribute, but you have to be patient. Try to study that community. Ask people questions. Join their meetings. That is when you know what these communities are doing.
Oh, that's nice.
That's
Another year,
enlightening.
Mabi. So basically, you don't have to be a developer to contribute to open source.
Yes.
Those of you that are thinking that you have to learn JavaScript, you have to learn Python. You don't have to. Not all projects require as a developer to contribute to open source. So that's a very good one, actually.
So on that note, we have been talking about free and open source, free and open projects. I mean, that's the whole essence of open source. So has there been times where you actually get to get paid for open source? You get money from open source.
That's
Or
a
everything
that's a
is
good
still free.
question. Because, money is important. And money they give blood.
Why is everybody quiet?
Yes, and money they give blood. That's a very important
Well,
question.
Who goes first? Let him go first. I think he must have made more money than me.
Let's hear from Toby.
Yeah.
Money in open source. To be honest,
Are you doing it for the money or are you doing it for the source?
It's always
honestly, if it was for the money, you burn out and
Yeah.
you eventually
Oh.
get tired. So
Okay.
that one is
That's
not.
not-
Money might not even come that far.
Yeah, that one is not even a burn. That one is not even.
So there's no
debatable.
money in open source.
Yes, not directly at least. So
Okay.
there are sources of money in open source, but there's like different ways though. But it's not like okay, you've done this, take money. No, it's not like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
I-
so yeah, there's bounties. I mean, let's start with that.
Okay.
There's that one. There's like really great places where you can get paid for fixing issues, and you still you sort of bring your skills to the table, and you collect money for doing that thing. So that one is more or less a contract job, anyways. But you don't have to be technical. You don't have to be. It just depends on what the task requires for bounties.
Okay.
There's also funding. So if your project happens to be, let's say, it meets so many demands, like she said, chaos, for example, onboarding people to open source. I'm sure there are some means they've been getting grants and stuff for some of the work they've been doing. Or if your project is like very technical, say it solves issues for really big projects or really big companies that depend on your projects. For example, when I was at Million, a ton of projects were using Million at the time. We're getting about 500k downloads per week.
Yeah. That's a
Installations.
lot too.
Yeah, it was a
Wow.
lot. So Million was like supported by Vassell, supported by a few other companies I probably can't even remember now, but I would just see them pop in and be like ask questions or okay, how do we integrate this and stuff like that. So yeah, like to allude to our point, open source doesn't just require technical skills. At Million, I was doing developer education, developer advocacy, developer relations, community management,
Only you?
and I was yes, I was sort of alternating between these roles. It was even eventually I realized that these things I was doing had names.
Do it.
Yeah,
Different names.
names and stuff.
We're just doing it for it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, money is not direct. At the time when I was working, contributing to Million,
Yeah.
I had laptop issues, so and stuff like that at the moment. So, I spoke with Aiden. It was he's still currently it's become a YC company now. So I spoke with him that you Alpha, like I may sort of drop in contributions or something like that.
Yeah.
And because of this, so funding myself, buying my own data and stuff like that, of course. And then I was like, sure, like what do I need or something like that. So I just told him that I saved up some money, that I just need like 200 or so to get like a 2018 MacBook. And I was like, no, like why would I buy a 2018 MacBook? Like I should buy an M1 or something.
Agba.
Good then.
Buy an M1. Can you hear?
Also,
Okay.
right?
So I was shocked. I was like, sure.
Why not?
Will you say no to a good
Why,
thing?
I will not buy him one.
M1, you say you upgrade to M1, you say you want to say no. Let me go to
yeah,
2018. For what?
Yeah.
So it's sort of like was that I should give him like details. Do I have anything that I'm using? I was like, I just like instantly ASAP went set up buy me a coffee. I sent him a link that okay, this is buy me a coffee. I made a video then. He asked me to make like a video so that he can sort of like talk about it. And all of these things, like let me just put it out there. He didn't do this because I made one contribution one day. So don't think for people watching.
Okay.
So yeah, don't.
That's very
That's
important.
true.
Yeah, let me just
That
put
is
that
very important.
because I've seen people
Rome
sort of.
wasn't built in a day.
One day.
So I've been people
Okay.
DM me like I want to make a contribution to open source and make money. I was like, no, it's not. It's not like that, bro.
Not
Like
fast money.
there's been times when I used because I was in hostel then, so I used my money for feeding at times to buy data because I want to be online to respond or fix an issue or join a meeting with a potential partner or join a podcast because I set Million up on so many of my dream podcasts and we actually got to be brought on so many JS podcasts that I reached out to. They were like very eager to bring us on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So like I was saying, he just like I sent him the link. He got he tweeted it out, and overnight I just slept and woke up and it was crazy. I saw like 3K.
Wow.
And I was just mind blown. I was like, I didn't even know where to start. I just called my parents and told them. It was exciting, and yeah, looking back now, it was a good time actually.
Yeah, that's good. Though. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's a very good one. So,
Nice.
Bisayo, the question is still with you. Like,
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
can you
Well,
You said you did outreach. We know
Yeah.
our
touch
baby
us? Is there money in open
Well.
source? What do I?
fortunately for me, I think 2 years ago, I did outreach. And
Wait, well, by the way, what's that, Trishi?
Exactly.
okay, so outreach is an internship. It's an open source internship for
Yeah.
underrepresented folks. So,
Okay.
Inclusion
women.
and diversity.
Yes, very,
Oh.
very inclusive organization. Women, men, people, LGBT, all of that are the people they are looking for, right?
Mhm.
So I did outreach about 2 years ago, and they paid me 7K for 3 months. And so that's like a very, very good way to make money
7K
For 3 months.
for 3 months.
Emphasis on 3 months.
in
Press calculator.
open source. And
7K
there are
for
other
3 months.
yeah, it's a lot of money. Sure, I would have kept my money till 2024 now. That is not a lot, right? So yeah, that happened, and ever since then it's been great, right? I've worked with different organizations, done some stuff here and there, gotten like small money to, right, for other things I've done. But outreach has and will always be a big deal. So there are other. I'll just talk about like other internship. We have
Yeah.
Google Season of Docs,
Mm.
and they
Exactly.
also pay like really good. That's another way to make money
Ah.
in
open
open source.
source.
Then there's Google Summer of Code.
Mm.
So, but the thing about these internships is they are very competitive. You have to
Oh.
be
Global
the
talent.
best
Global
of the
Global
best.
talent.
We're always coming back to
Yeah.
that
Right.
global talent.
You have to be the best at what you're doing.
Mm.
And you're not just competing with 10, 20 people.
When
My-
it's in Nigeria.
My
You're competing with
community
the
that I
rest of the
interned
world.
with, we had over 200 contributors.
Wow.
And they only selected 3.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very tough
Wow.
competition. So you have to be very strategic
Mm.
and know what you're doing. That's how you get into all the open source internships. There are still a lot of them. Maybe there are links that I can share later on, right? That people can go to get this information. Then and another thing I'll talk about is not just the money, the network of people you build. I
Yeah.
think that is also very important. Like he said, somebody he worked with raised about 3K for him. So you get to work with amazing people that you might not necessarily have access to on a normal day. So the founder of Opia works at Google. Opia was like a side project for him. And the amount of wisdom he has that he shared during the internship and even afterwards has really shaped like my career, shaped how like the trajectory of my career. It really went from me being very confused during COVID. What will I do? And I was supposed to be on a 6 months internship during COVID. That was when front end was all the craze on Twitter. Then that was how I started. I went from that to just this. So it has been very, very good. So I think the access to people that you get is also very, very important, because you don't know when they would need somebody that they think would be a good fit for this, and they'll just say, I remember working with this person then. I think he'll be a good fit for this. So you might not get your 7K or 2K or 3K now,
Okay.
but
Get
it
something
might be 5 years
sustainable
later
later.
that somebody will just mention that they need a front-end developer or a technical writer, and they just recommend you that, I worked with this
Yeah.
person in this open source organization and they did amazing work, and that's the end.
So
that makes
So
sense.
speaking on that, I think I have some story to share in that regard, because I mean I mentioned in previous episode how my journey started in that career, and how it started with the help of open source actually. And now talking about the network of people you meet. I remember that in 2020 that I did the She Could Africa mentorship program. I met Ruth, right?
Yeah.
And then we started contributing together to Layer 5. And after Layer 5, we became close, right? My current job that I'm currently doing right now is an open source organization. And Ruth recommended me for that role.
Oh,
She
nice.
recommended me because she works there. I mean, she works at Chaos. I think the community manager of my company reached out to Chaos and be like, "Oh, do you have anybody in your community that can do this role?"
Yeah.
And then she recommended me. So it is very, very important to like keep the network of people that you have around you. And the type of ways that open source used to pay for people is underestimated, to be honest, because think of that me working with somebody 5 years ago, or okay, that was last year, like 4 years ago, could bring me a job that will be sustainable, because now this is sustainability we are talking about.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you have the job, not
If
just a one-time thing. So apart from the projects that you contribute to, like one time, like 3 months, like a month, like bounty that you just work on casually, you get to experience bonding with people and building relationship with them. That's really amazing. So yeah,
that's-
moving on.
Yeah, moving on. So the things you people are saying has led me to another question, because I need to know. I need to. So you mean if I contribute to open source, 2K is not sure for me? So if 2K is not sure for me, yeah, you're saying I can make money, but I might not make
It's
money.
not sure for me.
So I want to ask one question now.
Yeah.
So what is the importance of like me contributing to open source? What do I stand to gain? Like if I should contribute to open source as a developer, as somebody who is not developer, as a
Marketer.
jack of all trade that I am, that I do
As a
anything.
gogolo.
What do I
Yeah.
stand to gain from contributing to open source?
I should
Yeah,
have.
you go first. You brought that part, so
Oh,
you go first,
okay.
and then we'll go to Toby again.
All right. So, we'll leave the whole monetary part.
Money aside.
Money aside first.
Carry
That
money
money,
and drop it.
it may not be
We
too
don't want
sure.
to have money conversation.
Yeah, if money is
Yes.
okay,
Let's be realistic.
let's just say let's keep
and
the
open
money.
Free and
Money them
open.
high,
Yeah.
but let's keep it
Let's
aside
keep the
first.
money first.
I still have one question about money too, Sha, but let's
Okay.
keep money
We'll
aside.
get there.
Money aside, let's.
Okay, so I think first one, as I said, the network of people you meet and get to work with. You work with very experienced people that know what is going on, and they are ready to put you on. Once they see that you are doing the work, they will put you on. They would recommend you for certifications. Oh, do this. I think you'll be a great fit for this, right? So then you get to work on real life projects. Let's say, for example, you are starting out as a project manager now, and you're still confused. Nobody's going to honestly hire
you
a
because you
very
have no
new project
experience.
manager. Most times project managers, you transition from one role to being a project manager. It's always easier like that. So but with open source you can get to take on projects and manage it, right? Same thing for developers. You get to play around real-time projects, live projects, not the one that you be, what do they call, learning debt or something that you're just
Tutorial
debt, right?
Yeah.
You're just watching tutorials, replicating
That's
what you are
fine.
seeing on
That's
tutorial.
fine.
We do
You're
that
just doing
tutorial.
that all the time. You
That's
think
fine. Tutorial.
you think you know what you're doing,
Have
but
a self-taught.
in reality,
Self-taught. They're not the drag us. They're dragging us again.
So open source eliminates that. You get to work on real stuff, make real impact, right? So what other benefits? Your resume. When you say, for example, people that were fortunate enough to work on VLC, people are still working on VLC, yeah? So when you put, because me, I have a section for open source contributions on my resume, put that, work with this one, and whenever people see that resume, it becomes for example, my current job, when I was being interviewed, they said, oh, open source contributions, talk about this. And I talked about both open source contributions, open source projects that I work on, and they were very intrigued. I don't know if that helped. I don't know. Because basically it was like, you're doing free work, eh? Yeah, this nice.
Yeah.
So
Good.
it might help. I do not really know, but it's a good way to boost your resume, right? You have stuff to prove that, oh, you've done this, you've done that. You meet great people, then that money will come later.
It's a money will come
Okay.
later. You
It
should
will
calm
come.
down.
Breathe.
To calm down.
Now
Okay.
you talked about contributing to up here. You're contributing to chaos and probably other projects. And so do you, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask him now.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance you have a full-time role
Yeah.
that you do that pay the one that pay you go it's not the free and open one.
Okay.
The one that pay. Okay, so you have that. So how do you balance doing this? Now I talked about burnouts that we're
Yeah.
going to get there.
Yeah.
So how do you balance these two together without getting burnt out?
I think you just have to be realistic and tell yourself the truth. So
Okay, tell yourself the truth.
Tell yourself the
Don't
truth.
be lying to yourself.
Stop lying.
Some of
Okay.
the biggest burnout cases that I've seen or had is just me lying to myself and trying
I
to
can
do
do this.
vibes and inshallah. When you should be realistic and just like, okay, this is what
They
is.
said this is not on vibes and inshallah. It's not what you get to do yet.
So this is what is plausible. This is what is not plausible, and it's part of communication. Because
Yeah.
when you work with people, like she said, you get to meet so many people. I met so many amazing people, and you'll be shocked that these guys that have already made it in life
Yeah.
are still coming
Seriously.
to do open source.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
so yeah, I did meet so many amazing people. So yeah, you just need to be like realistic with yourself. You're working on a project with a bunch of other people that have also sacrificed their free time for that. So you tell them, oh yeah, I think I can pick this up and work on this, and I should be able to deliver this, considering your own full-time hours too as well.
Yeah.
That I should be able to deliver this within next week, and you give them a day. They sometimes don't even care about like timeline. They just want to see, okay, when would you be able to comfortably
Yes.
deliver? I mean, they can't put like
A time frame for you.
Yeah.
they can't put pressure on you.
Yeah.
Because
So
free-
yeah,
It's a
exactly.
bit laid back. It's a bit laid back.
So-
It's not, nobody is telling you you have deadline.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's no what's your KPI or something like that. So there's nothing like that. So you just sort of
you're coming there.
I'm coming there.
so
I'm
you just
coming
sort of
there.
work
I
and,
just-
and you deliver.
You know?
And delivering has values because you, like she said, I've even added like open source like contributions projects I've worked with as companies on my CV. So
Yeah.
and I've
Yes, I
I've
do
spoken
too.
with like there was time I was interviewing for a role, like my first role. I just told the guy, like then I was still a million. I just sent him a link of things I've done a million, contributions I've made, how much I understand React, because if you were working on something like million, you obviously would have a deep understanding of how React works.
Yeah.
So I just told the guy, the lead front end guy was excited that he would work with me. They got back that night, like they would like to move on. So it was like she said, some of these things are like they just build your CV for you. Like it was even after we've spoken, they were now asking like, oh, where's your CV? Let's see it.
Wow.
Let's add you to the company and stuff like that. So normal HR formalities.
Yeah.
So yeah, like some of these things like you don't actually need to put pressure on yourself. You just tell yourself the truth that okay, I have this full-time role. There's obviously like some sustainability here, and you have open source which you are doing out of passion, out of you want to showcase your work publicly.
Yeah.
Your full-time role may be tied down by contract. You obviously can't showcase that. Oh hey, I built this feature. Take the code, go and use it.
No be lie.
You mean they no come carry you?
No be lie.
So, but with open source, you can do a live stream on that. You can do a webinar. You can do a Twitter space. You can put it on your WhatsApp. You can do anything you like and be like, oh yeah, I built this exciting and cool stuff.
Yeah.
Go and try it
Yeah.
out. So yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
you are like head of partnerships. You head translations team. You head the October
Boss.
Fest. You are
Boss.
head of projects managers,
Help
and
you.
then you do technical writing.
How do you?
So from a maintenance
Yeah.
point of view, how do you know that now if it's just a contributor can be like, oh, I want to pick this up. If you do not do it, I will assign the issue to somebody else, right? But you are the maintainer and they are bombarding you with different projects, issues that please CC
Yeah.
review this PR.
Yeah.
So how do you combine it with your normal role that you do as a technical writer?
It's not easy. I'll just be
Definitely.
very honest. It's not. And but I think one of the things I said this year was I want to like cut back on a lot of things I'm doing, right?
Okay.
And just train people so that they can take on more responsibilities.
Train me,
Train
oh,
So
train
leaders.
me. Oh.
I'm not fit
Leaders.
train my
Train me,
boss. Which one
ah,
is this
boss,
train?
me, Jack,
Hey,
I did do
train
everything.
me.
Train me, oh.
Train me.
Ah,
So
I'm already in the community, so it's very easy. The
okay.
training is very easy
Oh yeah,
for you.
no, we'll talk.
You just train
eh?
me.
Me, uncle.
You're not in the
for me
community.
like
That's
this.
problem number
Ah, I
one.
can join. I can join now.
There's a link now.
Okay, so
Alright.
anybody that knows me knows I'm very busy. Even before when I was still with my parents, mom, be like, I'm sorry, you're always doing this one. But I think trying to have like a schedule for everything you do. I have like these sticky notes like on my door, so like I use it to track like everything I do on
Everybody
a
just
on
have
a
something.
on a day
Wow.
on a daily
I'm productive
basis.
like this.
So like if you check my door, like I have them arranged so like my activities for the day. So like I try to, and most of the time, so for in chaos, right? It's not every time we have pressing projects. Do you understand? So sometimes it's calm. But during Hacktoberfest, that month I used to suffer.
You know, that time is chaotic.
Emphasis on
Chaos
the
is
suffer.
chaotic.
See how she's chaotic.
No,
Chaos is chaotic.
it's always chaotic that period.
Oh.
But like when you see people contribute and they're happy about it and they're
yeah.
tweeting about it,
Yeah.
and you'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, I did this. And so it's like a good reward for the work
Yeah,
you've
that's
done.
just kind of a good reward
Yes.
system. Like
Right?
somebody,
And for partnerships at up here, when you see, oh, these children, because most times when we work with partners, we ask them, okay, do you have like videos of these children talking about how they feel? And you see, I didn't like maths, but now I like maths, and it's just really nice
yeah,
to
to feel your
hear.
heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And you'll be like, okay, even though I'm not making money, salary
Yeah.
from this, it's people are benefiting.
Mhm.
And I think that's what honestly keeps me going. But this year, I want to drop some. Oh,
You want to calm down?
I want
Okay,
to.
speaking on calming down, Jamie, I know that I have like 2 or 3
Yeah,
questions.
I don't.
Speaking
You know,
on
I have to.
calming down,
I'm trying to jot things down so that I can be like that.
can you have open source role? Because he was talking, I said I'm coming back to it. They're talking about not set KPI. So, do you have open source roles as a full-time role? That now I'm not contributing to this thing. I'm actually working here and getting paid for my job.
Okay. Well,
Can you do that?
I
First
don't.
off.
I don't really know. I don't. But I know that there are contract rules. I have friends that are on contract with certain organizations. So sometimes it's a 1 year contract. Could be a 2 year contract. So depending on the kind of work you're doing, they place you on a contract. Like, okay, do this for this amount of time. If they think it's worth continuing, they pay you and you can be continued. But I don't know if they are like full-time employees of open source projects. They are.
There are, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please.
So
Enlighten
yeah,
us.
I've seen cases though where somebody technical again. Somebody built something that
Make us sit down well. Sure.
Somebody-
Now we're making get the updates.
somebody built something that a company happened to like Vercel again. So if you're like in the web space, you probably know Vercel a lot. So they're like everywhere. So they happened to like it, and they were like, "Sure, we'll pay you full time to work on this
To work
project."
on this.
Yeah.
So my pet project has turned my full-time
Yeah,
job.
like
telling
the
you.
guy built something called Lagon. So Lagon is like a runtime. So if you know Node.js or if you know Dino,
Yeah.
so Lagon is like that. But
I don't know it. I'm not a technical person.
I know it. I know it. You get what I know they do. I know it. I know it.
so Lagon is like is serverless runtime. So Vercel happened to like the project, and I was like, well, this is cool. The guy was a million, and they liked the project, and they just picked it up, and I was like, oh yeah, sure. How would you like to? I obviously don't know how the conversation went, but they wanted him to join the project, and they started paying him full time to keep working on Lagon. And as at last year, I think they acquired the project full time. They acquired the project and they hired him full time to keep working on that project.
So
Open source. It wasn't even working on Lagon as okay, I want to target Vassell. No, he just knew this is going to solve so many problems that I think
Yeah.
Vassell has or that they need in their like sort of setup. So because Vassell does a lot of serverless things and he built it, they paid him full time and bought him off. So
But and full-time salary.
so they're obviously going to give him I don't know if I can say they're going to give him a
There
cut
go,
of-
give am. You know, guy, you want to tell me they don't press on something, something that time.
A lot of things.
So
that's
there's
good.
cases like that. And there's some other cases like it's probably just open collective or the project you're working on likes what you are doing and maybe they just buy you a coffee or like a subscription.
Yeah.
I think they recently launched GitHub sponsors on for Nigerians,
Yeah.
so yeah, people can just I don't know sponsor you
Oh,
and they
okay,
just like
that's
okay we
good.
like your work and I'd like to give you let's say $5 per month or $10 per month. Somewhere that giving like $60 at some point for just doing open source and yeah, it was exciting to see. Like she said, some of these things when you fix issues for people and they just maybe tweet about it online or they talk about it, you just know to yourself
That's
that
a win.
It's
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
joy
this is
that
a huge
comes,
win,
this
yeah.
excitement that comes with
yeah,
it.
like this is a huge win and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's good. No. You see, don't be annoyed that I want to ask one question now because you people have been calling low key, you have been calling small money, but before
Now
in
you
my
know that
brain,
there is
in my
money
brain like
in-
this now, I've plus all the money together. I've plus all of them together. So let me ask now. Can you guys just call some of these internship or project that if you press me small thing? Just call them. I want to jot them
Okay.
down. Especially that guy at the view. He's
Write
viewed.
it
I
down.
know you want to write them down. Don't worry.
Okay.
They should call them and.
Okay, like off the top of my head, I know of Outreachy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then Google Summer of
Code and
Code.
docs.
Yes. Then there's also Docs for technical writers. Then MLH Fellowship
Yeah.
is also another good one. Which other one?
I think
There are
Linux has
lots.
one.
Yeah.
Linux has one.
So there we can share it on YouTube. We can drop the link. To
He said you
Yes, we can drop the
Sure.
link.
Yeah.
If there's
So
anyone, I
they
will
are
update you
real
guys.
friends.
See, I have them done.
Internships that
Mm.
you can would do it to share.
Oh.
So feel free to try your hands at it.
Yeah, that's good.
There's a
Give it
Web3
a
as
shot.
well.
There's-
There's Bitcoins and a
Hmm.
couple of other
Yeah,
things.
and
So
that's
it-
the sweet part now. I think Web3 too is not like having
Yeah, it's
open
Open source as well.
Public goods
Open
and stuff.
source.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
project.
So
I think I
in,
contributed to
the
one
last
year.
the last question
Yeah.
I have the last question. The question is this. So you guys have been making contribution. You have been telling us to contribute. You even made mention of so many things like Git and GitHub, whatever. Now the question I want to ask, the reason I want to ask this question is because I had one encounter with somebody and I dragged the person on Twitter.
Now this is where the
So-
nothing
so-
is coming out.
So the question I'm asking is this: what defines a valuable contribution to a project?
Oh.
And it's not advocacy or
Nobody.
influencing.
I don't think I think everybody avoids that word in general, so they don't say something is invaluable.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't say
Okay.
anything is invaluable. No open source.
So if I go to any project and do anything now, it's still
Like
valuable.
change comma to full stop.
If they don't want it, they will just open source is so chill. Like it's like maybe wooing
Thank you
somebody.
for working on this. We appreciate it.
So any small thing I can do is valuable.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Is it how they want it?
If
or
I come
not?
and delete everything, I can write it again.
Then that's why there's Git now. So if it's not going to even get anywhere, they will just say cancel.
Thank you for your time. Cancel.
So there's nothing like. So is there something like a bad contribution or there's nothing like that? Any contribution is contribution.
Yeah, any contribution is. Some maintainers are very strict and blunt. Maybe because they are not Nigerians. You know, Nigerians are very sentimental. We'll tell you
Yeah.
Pele or something like that.
We're
We'll try
nice
to-
people.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
very-
nice
Yeah.
Yeah. But they are not. We're not brought up in those environments, so they will just tell you what it is for. They will just tell you what
Tell
it
you
is.
straight up.
Like, did you read the contribution guideline? Did you read the readme? No.
No.
Take the links, go and read it before you now come back to this contribution. It might sound rude via text, obviously, because they are not doing VN.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are just like plain and straightforward. So it's either something they want or don't want, not as invaluable. It's not a matter of value, it's a matter of what they want or not.
I think they used to say that there is no dumb contribution.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is
No contribution is dumb. But what about for those people that it's because they need that thing? They want to go they want to go somewhere.
Oh, to like maybe
They
add
want
to their
to
CV.
they want to use it as proof. Say
Proof
okay,
of-
take for example now.
Proof
Say
of work.
me. I'm looking for a job now.
Yeah.
I just want to show people that I contributed to
No,
open
no,
source,
no.
and I know I did not. So I just
changed
started going.
command.
I just started going to projects, and I'll start adding comments for all the project I see.
Oh, like reviews?
No, I can let me just go down and be adding comment. Either add comment, not
Oh,
reviews.
like comments on that
comment
GitHub thread.
inside the inside
Inside the
take for
code.
example, if it's code now,
And that one is
I'll just be
reviews now.
adding.
Is that
No,
not reviews?
take for example,
Yeah.
there's a code in the documentation or there's a code somewhere
Yeah.
on how the tool works.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
just go
just
there,
comments there. Oh,
just add
on that
comments.
line.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
or just add dots. It will show my name that I contributed
Yeah,
to this project.
contribute-
But that's the thing, like that thing is a good thing and a bad thing. Sorry,
Yeah,
if you're
go on.
that is a good thing. It's like the blockchain, anyways. Everything is public, so you can't lamba anybody. They will just check
They'll
your
catch
name,
you.
check your contributions and find it.
Mess up.
And I think
So-
you know, like when you even so for example, if you want to change something on a doc now, let's say it's on GitHub,
Yeah.
you have a fork that you make that is
Yeah.
your own copy.
Yeah.
So it cannot even get to their own main copy. If they see that it's useless,
They will
they
just,
will trash it from that's your own copy.
Yeah.
So it will just be on your own side.
and
Yeah.
GitHub is so good. Just one button.
It's just one button.
So
Done.
So in
That
essence,
does
in all, even though I'm contributing, my very beginning is that no matter how small it is, it should be useful
it
to
should
them.
be useful.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
It should, not useful per se, but it should align. Like you've read the contribution guideline, you've read the README,
Yeah.
and you've seen maybe their community discussions, and maybe there's also a discussions tab on GitHub
On
as well.
GitHub, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've read through those. You've seen the issues that are open. You've seen that nobody's assigned to them. Not like you see that they've assigned 10 people to one issue. You
Still
still
can't
go
say,
there.
come and give me.
Please assign
Can I take up this issue?
No, but like you just found that perfect spot. It's like
Yeah.
that meridian, that sort of zen,
Yeah.
that zen state. Like okay, this is the contribution. Then you
Yeah.
pick it.
That makes sense.
So now
actually, so.
he has asked his own last question, not my own last question. You have talked about, you have picked on some parts where how you can contribute to it, right? Like you can see issues and just what other ways can you like contribute to a project? And can you just, for the sake of our viewers, just give us a quick step-by-step guide, quick one on how to contribute, like to just make that first push PR.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It varies. So, for my own project now, I can maybe require people to fork the project first. So there's something called forking, F-O-R-K. It's not a curse word. So it just means
Listen,
F-O-R-K, oh.
the terminology.
F-O-R-K.
so it means that like when you fork a project, and that's why I'm emphasizing the R. It's not like I'm American. I just want to emphasize. that.
Don't worry, proceed. We understand.
So when you fork a project, you basically just make a copy
Yeah.
of the project to your own name, to be part of your own sort of portfolio on GitHub. Then from there, I'm just giving like one process now. From there, they will demand that you've read through their style guides, because for example, there's conventional commits.
Yeah.
So like feature
Each
for
project.
feats for feature, chord for maybe you made a contribution that was like refactored, or maybe you changed something. They also refactor actually. There's style. So there's many of these like conventional commits. Some of them even have their own demands. Yeah, like this is the way you must write. Yeah, this is the way you must write your commit messages.
Yeah.
This is how you must do it. Either you
Yeah.
base or you pull.
Yeah. In chaos, you must
That-
sign off your commit.
Yeah, exactly. Signing is another thing.
Okay.
So that's
Something
one
happened
process.
yesterday. I was trying to push a doc,
Mm.
and I wrote it in capital letter. Like I wrote the first letters in capital letter,
Oh,
and the thing to actually I saw that you make times. I see what is going
yeah,
on
they
here.
have like tests. Some of them
Yeah.
have tests
Okay.
that just catch
They have
those
to bring
things.
it back to
Okay.
lowercase,
Yeah.
so something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, some of them have like GitHub actions. So they're like automated processes that are written down in like workflows that
To
just
make
like
sure that everybody.
everybody
contributes,
follows the process. So even if you don't follow it, that you say okay, maybe you didn't read or maybe you
It will
didn't.
not go.
It's
Just
not
the
everything.
just the
Go.
cash
They will
you.
still catch you.
Right.
So, and some people are very thorough in their processes, so they will like review everything you've done. So if it doesn't meet the demands, they could do reviews and they will tell you, okay, maybe just change this and stuff. And if another maintainer comes there and sees it, they know that you've not fulfilled that. So until you fulfill that, that's when the contribution goes in. But for a first contribution, for an ideal, not ideal rather, for a real life sort of contribution process for anybody that is contributing to a project, either technical or non-technical, you typically fork the project or you make the project and then maybe you branch off of it. So branching is like you just take the project, put it on your laptop. So obviously not like that, like you clone it. So something called clone it.
You know they go too deep. Oh yeah, clone.
Okay.
Let's move on.
So when you clone it, you just like either branch of it. Like branches, like you're creating a new copy again from that original copy.
Yeah.
Then from there you just make your contribution. So your contribution will be like a new addition to that
the
existing.
already
Yeah.
existing.
Then eventually you will not take it back to GitHub
Yeah.
or whatever platform they use. Some of them use GitLab, Bitbucket.
Yeah.
It's not only GitHub. So then follow the guidelines. They will even have like templates. Some of them have templates for you to
follow.
fill. Yeah, while you are making your contribution. So it's called like a pull request.
Yeah.
So you follow that sort of template within it. You write what they asked you to write.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you meet all these demands, like it's just instructions. Honestly, I think when people say that they are not able to contribute something, it's probably because they didn't follow the instructions.
True.
It's not like those people are bad. It's just that
Yeah.
they don't have that much time. Probably have kids to take care of. They have a dog
Okay.
that they need to take to a vet, or they have a babe to go and meet or something. So
Okay.
they always can't just dedicate all the time to you and stuff.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to add, like,
Yeah.
for like non-technical people.
Yeah.
So my own first steps would be join their whatever
Community,
communication
yeah.
channel they
Mm.
use.
Yeah.
Some use Google Chat, some use
Yeah.
Slack. Just join and try to introduce yourself. That's the first step.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself, let people know you. Then go through like their channel lists. Most of them use Slack. Most
Yeah.
open source projects use Slack. So you can see all that they have.
Mm.
Then see where you fit in. Join
Okay.
meetings.
Yeah, okay.
Ask questions.
Introduce yourself. Very important.
That's once you introduce yourself, you see
Yeah.
people from the community self welcoming you.
Welcoming you,
Or
you're
what do you
welcome.
do? For us at Chaos, we do that. Or what do you do? What aspect would you like to contribute to? So that's if you are not a developer that can go to GitHub and fork the repository, right? So that's how you can start. Listen when they are talking in the meeting so that you know, oh, this is how to get started, where you can contribute.
No, I'm just telling them to listen.
Right, so listen, then you should get a hang of it.
Okay.
That's nice.
Okay.
That's nice. Thank you.
Cool,
Thank
cool.
you very seriously. I've learned a lot too. So
Yeah.
if you want to contribute to open source and you are watching this episode, I mean, they've dropped so many gems for you to get
lot of
started
it.
and so many benefits. It's not just the money. Don't do it just for the money. There are so many benefits that you get to benefit from contributing to
Do
open
we still
source.
have time to take more questions?
No, but that, time. So if you have any more questions, I think you can reach out to our guest on social media. So Toby, what's your social media handle?
Oh yeah, you can check me out on Twitter, Tobi_solutions.
Toby_solutions. How about you?
Mine is Oluwa Busayo.
So if you have any question about open source, feel free to tag them, ask them. If you want us to drag them as well, tag nothing_Africa. We will also help you to amplify your question to make sure that you get the answer. But thank you all very much for this session. Don't forget to follow us and our amazing guest. You can follow me
Follow Nothing
on
Podcast.
social media
Yeah.
as
Do well to follow.
Jagaban, you don't forget your name.
I don't forget my handle.
Jagaban,
Okay, code. Yeah, that's true. Code Jagaban. Code Jagaban.
Code Jagaban.
Everything-
Are you a developer? Are you a
everything
developer?
I do everything. I do everything. I'm a jack of all
Always
trades.
active.
I don't know.
So,
Always
so you follow me as Code Jagaban. Then you also follow Bam Bam
As
as,
I am Bami.
and most importantly, don't forget to follow Nothing Podcast on
Follow
all
us,
social media.
share.
Follow us.
Twitter, IG, whatever. Follow us.
Subscribe.
Nothing
Yeah,
underscore.
Yeah,
You
You people should have a
Nothing-
GitHub. Make it
We're
open
coming
source.
to that. We're coming to that.
We'll get
So
there.
nothing_Africa.
step at a time.
Don't forget to follow us on that.
All right, subscribe,
share this,
share,
like and subscribe. Turn on post
comment,
notification.
ask
Comment
those
on it.
questions.
Ask your question.
Yes,
Share this
yes.
video with everybody. Share with your grandma herself. Government might contribute to open source, so you never can
You
tell.
know?
So
Might as well
thank you all very much for this.
Actually,
This was
inclusive-
fun,
inclusivity.
and we hope to see you guys on the next episode. So
All right.
for
so
now, bye for now.
bye.
Bye, everyone.